So I've seen a lot of biological or geography, environment-related subjects, so let's get some new things around here. So aerospace engineering, so basically rocket science. So on May 2017, just recently, Rocket Lab had just successfully launched the Electron rockets into the space and make New Zealand the 11th nation to ever launch any man-made object into space. This means that we have the capability of producing our own rocket and launch it. So basically, aerospace engineering is a subject that studies the operation as well as development of rockets, as well as spacecraft, airplanes. So this is the graph presented by Space Work Forecast, which is an organization that tracks satellites and rockets activities worldwide. As you can see that the demand for the market for nano satellites and small satellites, which weigh around 1 to 50 kgs, is constantly increasing throughout the years. And hence, these satellite operators require a more frequent and flexible launch providers, and that's why New Zealand, especially Rocket Lab, comes to play. So a little bit about Rocket Lab. This is a company established by Peter Beck, who is a New Zealandese entrepreneur. And his company has integrated a lot of innovations and technologies into the Electron rockets. Mainly, they use 3D printing to produce their own rockets, which significantly decrease the time to build one engine. As you can see, it decreased to 24 hours. He also incorporates carbon composite fuel tank, which significantly reduced the weight of the rockets, hence increased the efficiency. His rockets had the capability of carrying 500 kgs into the low Earth orbit, which is 500 kilometers from our sea level. So what makes New Zealand such a suitable place to launch those satellites? Firstly, as you can see, two red pins that I put on there is where the United States and SpaceX, as you heard about, this very famous company, launched their satellites. And as you can see that above the sky, there's a lot of commercial aircraft and planes are flying around. So firstly, when you want to launch a rocket, you have to clear the airspace. And hence, you affect the aviation industry because you have to reroute all the planes. But in New Zealand, as you can see that when I pin the purple there, there's not a lot of airplanes, so when you launch rockets, the aviation, you not affect much the aviation industry. And the white one is where the French launched their rockets as well, as well the European Space Agency. After the success of Rocket Lab, the Ministry of Economic Development, the minister said, Simon Bridges said, that the aerospace industry has the capability of contribute to the New Zealand economy, as well as the wine and the kiwi industry, which you know that is very traditional to New Zealand. And everyone think of wine or kiwi or primary industry when they talk about New Zealand economy. And the Sir Callaghan Innovation Trust also granted Rocket Lab with a growth grant in 2013 as well, because they realized the potential that Rocket Lab can bring to New Zealand. I believe that New Zealand has a tremendous, huge potential resources in terms of engineering, because you know that throughout the year we have a large majority of students who is very good at STEM subject applying for School of Engineering in the University of Auckland. And aerospace engineering not just prepare young students for aerospace alone, but they also equip students with knowledge in subjects like fluid dynamics, which allow the students to work in other fields as well, such as car designing, aircraft designing, or maybe wind power as well. So aerospace engineering also allow universities to produce their own satellites, which, for example, here is a CUBE satellite produced by the Swedish university. And the university can use these satellites, which is very cheap to produce, to serve their own research purpose or to demonstrate to the students. And why it's called CubeSat? Because this satellite is made of components that has 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, cube like that, by 3 dimensions. Yeah. New Zealand already pride themselves as being a green and clean country. So satellites also help New Zealand to monitor vegetation growth throughout the country, as well as the oil drilling industry. Because in case of disaster, the satellite can help scientists to predict the flow of the oil, and hence can help them clean up the mess easily. And also, satellites can help us track weather, as well as the dangerous hurricanes such as Hurricane Katrina happened to the US, as well as this is a picture of the Deep Horizon oil spill happened in the Gulf of Mexico. This image helps environmentalists to predict where the oil would spill, and hence they can have a most effective plan to deal with it. So just an update on what Rocket Lab has been doing. So recently they have successfully tested the the first stage of their second Electron rocket, and hopefully the flight will go on as scheduled at the end of the year. And the success of Rocket Lab has triggered the Australians, and they are now scrambling to establish their own space program. And the space race is on in the Oceania region. So we are basically ahead of the Australian a little bit. So yeah, you should be confident about that. Thank you.